Good morning, students. Welcome to the class of Social Science. Today we are going to start with the third chapter, Ancient Towns and Scripture. Culture, which is related to human life. And as you all know, that we have a diverse culture out here in India because of differences based on religion, languages, states, dressing, and even food habits. Like we can take an example of rituals and ceremonies on marriages in India compared to other foreign countries. The ceremony lasts for more than 1 week, whereas in foreign countries the marriage ceremonies is done within just few hours. Even on all the occasions, we start our work with puja, a kind of prayer, or we will remember Lord Ganesha before giving a start to any work. Even our culture teaches us to respect our elders and take care of our parents, which is not a part of any of the Western culture. Even though having lots of differences in terms of religion, languages, rituals, and ceremonies, we live together happily like one big family. This was just a short of an example to make you understand. Otherwise, it would take a whole life to make you go through the whole Indian culture. Such diverse and united our culture is. That's why we say unity in diversity when we talk about our country, India. But when we talk about civilization, it's totally based on the development based on our own caliber and creative skills. Like the development we brought in India after independence, as you all know, we were not so developed by the time, but see the modern India in 2020, there is a huge difference. Like, for example, earlier our country was totally dependent on agriculture, but now India is a part of almost all the developing sectors like big industries, factories, production units, technologies, education, etc. Means almost India is being found out in all the places. This is only possible through the combined efforts of the people who lived out here in India. Like here, you can have a look over the different civilization of Egypt, Mesopotamia, India, China, and Rome, which can be exhibited as a greatest civilization of the human society in the history. The most common among all was that all of them established nearby the bank of river, so that it would be easy for having a settled life, as water is the basic necessity of the life to survive. In the beginning, they used to live in groups. Later, they formed the communities out of those groups. And after that, it took a shape of society, and along with time, it was known as civilization. Why did people settle near by the rivers? The main reasons were because the land was fertile out there. Even the fresh water was available for all the time for all kind of domestic purposes like drinking, watering livestock, and irrigation. And even the transportation facility was good through the waterways. Have a look over the picture, you can have a better idea about it. Talking about the discovery of the lost city, Harappa, earlier it was founded by the British who came to India for trade, along with the explorer Charles Mason. It happened once when Charles Mason took a visit to northwest part of India, which is presently there in Pakistan. He came across some mysterious kind of brick building, and regarding that he wrote in his book as Ruined Bricks Castle with a very huge walls and towers built on the hill. This was the first written record of Indus Valley civilization. Later in 1856, when engineers laid a railway line connecting Lahore and Karachi, which is presently there in Pakistan today, they discovered some more burnt bricks. And by the time, without understanding its importance, they used it for railway line construction purpose. But later, when the excavation took place in 1920s, they found out the lost city of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa in the direction of Sir John Marshall, which is there in front of you. And in his excavation, he concluded that it was a part of a large civilization. And there was a slight difference between Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Based on that, they concluded that the Harappa was the oldest one. Now, how do archaeologists explore a lost city? What are the ways of doing that? The first thing they will do is by studying the physical objects which are being found out there in terms of stones and bricks, or even studying a bit of a broken pottery which is found out in that area. And for the same, they'll go through the resources from the history. Even they may take the photograph of the place from above with the help of drone to understand the natural and artificial features of that area, and to see the underground part they may use a magnetic scanner, like a kind of a metal detector which you people find it out in malls, airports and even in hotels. Have a look regarding the sites on Indian borders. And remember one thing, while you go through it, don't consider the partition of India and Pakistan, as because it took place in 1947 by the time of independence. Earlier it was only one India, no Pakistan, nothing like that. So remember that. Talking about the time span of Indus Valley civilization, geographical locations was considered as the southern part of Asia. The period was Bronze Age, and the time period can be specified from 3300 to 1900 BC, before Christ, or before Common Era. And this can be calculated based on carbon dating method, which is commonly being used by the archaeologists to know the approx time period. And it was spread out in 13 lakh square kilometer area, under which 6 big cities and more than 200 small villages were there. Talking about the unique features of Harappan civilization was town planning, which was divided into two, upper town and lower town. Let's start with the upper town. Have a look over the pictures given there. In the second picture, the part at the top you can see is citadel, which was used by the administrators to live in. And in the first picture you can see there a great bath and granaries were also located out there. Granaries which was used to store the grains for future use. Talking about the lower town, the part of the city to the east was lower side but was larger compared to the upper town, and which was used by the common people to stay. Why it was considered as urban civilization, and the reason behind that was it had well conceived town planning, a good amount of architecture work was being found out there. Priority was given to health and hygiene. Even the standard measures and weights were being maintained, and even because of the agriculture base. Talking about streets and houses, the streets were straight from north to south and from east to west, crossing each other at right angle. It had a wide and rounded cornice. Houses were there on both the sides of the street. They were of 1 or 2 stories. All of the houses had many rooms, courtyard, means veranda, with a toilet and bathroom facilities. They were built with the burnt bricks like we use today for construction purpose, but no evidences regarding the palaces for the kings and the place of worship like temples and all. Have a look over the picture given here, through which you will get a clear idea about what I was trying to convey you in the previous slide. Now, talking about the drainage system by the time, which was very well managed by them, as because many of them were having a covered drains with the bricks. Even good slope was provided to it so that the water can flow easily. Holes were there at regular intervals to clean the drains. It passed through almost all the streets. All the houses were having a separate soak pit which collects the sediments into it, which can be cleaned on regular intervals, and from there only the water was allowed to flow into the street drains. Have a look over the pictures given there. You will have a clear idea about it.